Good morning, YouTube. So, I've made a couple videos about selling my Jeep Wrangler, and for the past 15 or 20 years, I've always had two vehicles, or I'm making a point to have two vehicles, personally. My wife, she of course has her vehicle, but I've always had, personally, two vehicles, and sometimes it's been a car and a motorcycle, or a truck and a motorcycle, and so there's a Jeep and a car and a truck and a car. But anyway, so I've always had two vehicles, tried to anyway. So, and it's always worked out pretty well for me. If one had to go down for repairs and the other one, I could drive the other one. But anyway, so I sold my Jeep Wrangler, and my plan was to sell my F150, my 2005 F150, after I bought myself a nicer, newer truck. So I've been looking and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I'm playing with the idea of buying a wrecked or theft recovery vehicle off of Copart. And but I've seen a few that sparked my interest, but none that actually have come up for auction yet. If you've never been on Copart or IAAI, sometimes they'll list vehicles and they'll be on there for, a month or 2 months, because they're waiting for the title to come back from the state or the insurance company, or there's some kind of paperwork that's not ready. So they list them to garner interest in them, but they don't actually have the auction until a selected date. So there's a couple on there that I'm interested in, but I'll have to see where they end up at, because I'm not going to spend, I'm not going to spend 15 grand on a salvage title F150 or a theft recovery F150, and then have to put a couple of grand more into it, and then I've got 80% of the value of one that doesn't have a salvage title. Like if I spend 18 grand on an F-150, a salvage title one, and I could buy the exact same F-150 for 23, that's a tough pill to swallow, because I could turn around and sell the non-salvage title. The non-salvage title F-150 will hold its value much better. So anyway, I've been debating on that, and sorry, I'm messing with my hair a lot today. I didn't gel it, so it's kind of, I'm looking at it, and it's, I feel like I got to do something with it. But anyway, so I'll try to stop touching my face. So, my rule has always been when you have one vehicle to yourself, that's when it's going to break. And sure enough, I sold my Jeep Wrangler 2 weeks ago, and sure enough, my F-150 started vaping yesterday. And what I mean by that is the heater core got a pinhole in it and started blowing vaporized coolant out of the vents, which was not very exciting. I don't know if you can see my windshield or not, but it's actually got condensated vaporized coolant on the windshield permanently now. Not permanently, but it's not going away. So it's just that rule of thumb that once you go down to one vehicle, something is going to break that you have to, obviously it's going to go down for repair. And a heater core is not an easy repair. I'm going to have to take the dash out, which, here's the struggle, is I just put this heater core in. It's September now, and I just put this heater core in May. I had the same problem back in April, and so I bypassed it. I bypassed the heater core, and then you got to remove the dash. You got to remove the there's an inner dash cage support bracket that you got to remove, and then you got to remove the heater box to access it. So it's not an easy task. It's going to put my F-150 down for about a day and a half. Depends on how fast I speed through it. Now, granted, since I've done it a couple of times, obviously I'm a little better at it than I was the first time I did it. But anyway, that's just, it seems to be the way it always goes. It's you know, it's never something easy. And I'll be honest with you, this truck, and the reason I'm looking at a newer F-150 is because me and this truck are about to get a divorce. And so I bought this truck probably about a year ago, and I bought it in Pearl, Mississippi. I found it on eBay, and it was the cheapest 04 to 08 F-150 that I could find. And I'll be honest with you, I really like the 04 to 08 F-150s. I had one before, and it was a fantastic truck. It has really good styling. The 5.4 3-valve is a little persnickety, but you know, if you keep up with things, you maintain them, they're a great, reliable truck. Very, very few problems, and the problems that they do have are well documented. That you can find the parts and the repairs pretty easy. So I searched one of these out, and I found one on eBay. Called the guy, made him an offer over the phone. We came to an agreement. I got on a plane, flew to, I can't remember what city I flew into, but I flew into Mississippi. He picked me up at the airport, and I'll be honest with you, it was a little rougher than I thought it was going to be. They didn't really describe it in great detail on eBay. And when I called, I asked, has it been smoked in? Has it, what's wrong with the body? And he goes, it's got a few dents and dings here and there. And yeah, it was smoked in, but we did a thorough cleaning. You can't even smell it anymore. Lies. Lies, lies, lies. So I flew all that way. I got in it. It smells like an ashtray. And sure, they did clean it. But, I mean, it was just from all kinds of things. Like, you know, this guy smoked so much that when I took the dash out to replace the heater core, I found a pack of cigarettes between the dash and the inner cage structure, the dash support. A pack of cigarettes, unsmoked, unopened. I don't know how they got in there. There's no, like, hole for them to fall into. But there was a pack of cigarettes below the dash. And so anyway, I took it apart, did a thorough cleaning. It doesn't smell like cigarette smoke anymore. But the body's a little rougher, and really overall, it's led a rough life. This guy, his previous owner, who bought it brand new, I am the second owner who bought it brand new, he just didn't do maintenance like he should have. He just used it as a truck. And he's the kind of guy that, owning this truck now, these are only things you can figure out from owning the vehicle, is, he's the kind of guy that if something starts making a noise, he drives it until it breaks, and then he replaces it. Where I'm the kind of guy that if it makes a noise, I figure out what's wrong with it and fix it, because I don't want anything to break. I don't want to be sitting on the side of the highway with a wheel bearing that's cracked in half. Speaking of which, I replaced both wheel bearings in this truck. So anyway, long story short, I put a lot of time and money into this truck, and it's really to the point where I've got to wash my hands of it and walk away. And it's not that it's a bad truck, it's just that I can't put more and more money and more time into it if I want to sell it and at least break even, which that's all I'm going to do on this truck is break even. I'm not going to make money. So, which is rare for me. I usually make a little money when I sell a vehicle. So anyway, we'll see where this goes. Like I said, we're looking at Copart. We're looking at Auto Trader. I've really got my heart set on a Raptor. Really got my heart set on a 2011 to 2014 Raptor. Don't really want to spend that much money, but it's a debate. Do I spend $32,000 and get a truck that I don't have to do anything to, that I can just get in and drive every day, no problem? Or do I spend $18,000 to $20,000 on a salvage one, and I put a little time into it, and then I have a Raptor for 60% of the price, 70% of the price? It's a debate, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do right now. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. I'll definitely be making videos on what I get and how it progresses, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.